gentlemen, dear Puranjay, Sunil, Alka, it's a true pleasure and honor to be here tonight. Maybe even more as a mother of two grown-up sons than ambassador, because I have also two sons, and the elder one will soon get 28 years old, and he is also like a poet in his soul. And this is why I really accepted this invitation almost immediately, and I went through the book also almost immediately. Thank you, Puranjay, for sending me the copy. And what I found out that the questions you are asking are very universal. Any young soul in whatever country, wherever at the end of the world, here and there, could ask the same questions. Where I am, where do I come from, what is life, what gives the meaning to the life, what do I do with my life, and how shall I know, or do I know that I exist, and can I change the world, and if yes, how? These questions everyone is asking at a certain point of life, but putting the soul and your thoughts, the most intimate one, on the paper as a poet, it also requires lots of courage and resilience. And normally the resilience happens and comes when you have had some difficult moments and setbacks in your life, because only then these hard days create like kind of Teflon shield to protect yourself, your true self. I'm happy you are publishing this poetry under your own true name, Puranjay Khanna. You haven't created a pseudonym, or you haven't created also an avatar for yourself to be another kind of character. You don't need it. You don't need to lie to yourself, and lying to yourself to please others, this is the most stupid thing one can do in life. I'm happy that you went through this kind of journey which has enabled you to become strong. And just quoting yourself, the battle is forever, and tomorrow is another day, and today is another war. And then we all continue to fight for what we believe is right. Don't wake up when dreams begin. Continue dreaming and writing, no matter what society says on one day or any day. You should always follow your heart and find the way, your way. Thank you.
Allan Poe as a sort of an invocation to the poetry gods. He says, and I quote, "Shadows of shadows passing. It is now 18:30 hours, and as always I am absorbed with a delicate thought, to which end music is an essential. It is how poetry has indefinite sensations. Since the comprehension of sweet sound is our most indefinite conception, music, when combined with a pleasurable idea, is poetry. Music without the idea is simply music. Without music or a pleasurable idea, color becomes pallor, man becomes carcass, home becomes catacomb, and the dead are but for a moment motionless." The first poem I shall read is called "The Sleeping Giants," from Puranjay's Second Star. The Sleeping Giants. Over the jagged, steep slopes of the mountain of hope and beyond the deep chasms of desire, there lies a place of hushed whispers where the mythical, metaphorical giants sleep. Treacherous is the path forging, twisting and turning through the highest peaks of unspeakable majesty. For only the purest of focus and the clearest of intentions may pass through this fragile mirage unscathed. Twisted are these rope bridges of delicate light forming intricate mazes above the darkness of the chasm, for the slightest hesitation of intention assures you drop in the labyrinth below where you must start your journey again. Beyond the bridges at the gate of dawn, there lies the magic violin of serenity, for whosoever reaches the journey's end must soothe the giants to continue their slumber. State of the heart of the wanderer who dares play the magic instrument determines if chaotic destruction or law and peace reign supreme. For woe to that cursed mortal who dares hesitate and play, lest sleeping giants be awoken and dance to the music of the universe's destruction. The second one, I will be accompanied by Captain Alwyn. It's called Spectrum Breach. Come ashore to the reality defined by light. The darkness, peace, sea of space bursts into colors so bright. They morph into all shapes and sizes. As from nothing a wave of light arises. A coastline is seen through a haze. Time is barely felt in these days. Definition by bright crystal-colored hues. All that is understood is refracted light views. An island on the border of perception. Soft soothing waves of color find their way to the islands. Shows from all directions. This mystical island through this cosmic ocean, enjoying creation in its dwellers' emotion. Access to memories random are these, for our dreamer wakes up with a sudden sneeze. A gentleman of leisure on a beach by his home. Through dreaming while listening to music, his mind has grown. With the sun in his eyes and a beverage in his hand, he gets off his hammock and puts his feet on the glistening white sand. For a moment, he understood all of creation. He reached for his phone to tell the nation. But just as he heard the ring and his lower lip did bite, a spark of glass in the sand reflected sharp light. So bright and sudden was the spectrum of light. He forgot the secret in a moment of fright. What followed was a time of frustration. But in the end, all he could do was go back to his drink in resignation. The third poem I shall only read is called Oracle. Breathe in the air of chaos, of the countless battles fought, of the true essence of human nature, of the future to be created by trends of thought. A pilgrim climbs the steep spire of steps through the side of a jagged mountain pass, his crown in his bleeding hands. He seeks to know if the future for him has greener grass. There, on a cliff overlooking the sea, lies a house that looks in room. Inside, what magic and incantations be, for she dances in a trance, her eyes shut and her voice chanting true. For millennia she has stood atop this place of hushed whispering repute. For those who come for fate's blessing have no clue if chance favors their shoot. For through air of ominous mystery and an eerie understanding of the infinite state, the oracle sees through all of history to give the pilgrim a view of what is come on his plate. With substance and cycles of erotic illusion, she dances like a child gone mad, channeling chaos, confusion, laughing with shrieks neither good nor bad. With the arrogance of days gone by, the fallen king demands that she speak, for he must know if he will recover his land. She stops dancing as his mental footing goes weak. She speaks in a whisper of hiss, telling the nothing king to roam, for in his lust and greed he has for all eternity lost his home. He looks away dejected, knowing that his chance is lost. He slays himself in a moment of pure emotion. He could not bear his arrogance's cost. And the last poem is the title of this book. It's called Out of the life that I left behind. Sorrow and desire were all I ever did find. To be a part of something beyond me I craved. To the will of others I always caved. Fear of being alone had a clutch on my heart. From those whom I thought cared, I never wanted to be apart. But the advantage of love was the intention of a few. The more I experienced, the more I grew. Terror gripped my soul with the passing of time. To such an extreme that it shattered my walls and became benign. A part of me that I once lived for was gone, and in its place a new resilience was born. I leave behind a mentality of self-doubt. Living for me is what my life is now about. My broken wings are now in a state of complete repair. As I discover new horizons, all the world can do now is stare. Like Peter Pan into the sky I fly, to my Neverland somewhere in my mind's eye. I've had enough of the negativity, anger, and scorning. My destination is the second star to the right and straight on till the morning. Thank you, Captain Orwell. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. The star is actually there, Mr. Puranjay. Fabulous book.
Wow, what a night. This is truly a magical, mystical night. A night full of wonder, a night full of magic. If you just stay quiet for a second, you'll be able to hear the spirits all around you. And the spirits are rejoicing because this is a blessed night. It is a night when a young man just entering into his manhood has given the world, given us, a wonderful gift, the gift of poetry. And because of this gift, there will be greater sympathy in the world, greater empathy in the world, greater understanding in the world, and the world will become a better and more peaceful place. I'm not exaggerating, because this is the power of poetry. Poetry can enter a person's soul like no other form of art can. And it enters you, and it plays with your emotions, and it stretches your emotions to breaking point, and makes you discover feelings and emotions that you never thought actually existed within you. That is the power of poetry. It will make you weep, the poetry will make you mourn, it will make you cry, it will make you tremble, it will make you feel like you belong to another world, like Neverland, as is mentioned in the second star. And the poetry also integrates us and reconnects us with the great beating heart of the universe. Because you have to remember, we are all children of the stars. We are literally children of the stars. Because when a star explodes in a supernova, it spews across the universe all the star stuff which we are made of. Helium, silicon, nitrogen, hydrogen, all your minerals. So we are literally children of the stars. The stars are our ultimate parents. And the stars, they talk to us. Right now we can't see any stars. The first star is not out, but the second star is out. And there, after the second star, the third, the fourth, and the millionth, and the billionth. In our galaxy alone, there are about 400 billion stars. The universe is all about billions and trillions and quadrillions and pentillions and septillions. It's infinity. You have to grasp what infinity is. You have to wrap your mind around infinity. And the universe talks to us. It talks to us in metaphors. It talks to us in similes. It talks to us in imagery. It talks to us in stanzas. It talks to us in sonnets. It talks to us in couplets. In short, it talks to us in rhythm and rhyme and verse. The universe is not prosaic. That is why it's called universe. It is not uniprose, it is a universe. The universe was born through a poem, and now it exists within the poem, and the poems which have now come before you in the form of this book. It was truly amazing. So we have to congratulate Puranjay, but I do not know how much we should congratulate him, because it is an old mystery who actually has written these poems. Is Puranjay just an instrument of the stars that I mentioned before, of the spirits which I mentioned before, of the universe which I mentioned before, or of the muses, the 9 muses which I have not mentioned? One doesn't know. Puranjay also probably doesn't know where these ideas come from, where the thought comes from, and who is moving his hand across the paper for writing these incredible stanzas. It is a mystery, but let us accept the mystery. Mysteries are something that we should cherish, something that we should accept. And mysteries have their value. Because mysteries There's in one of the poems written by Wilfred Owen, mystery was mine and I had mastery. Mastery was mine and I had mystery. The poetry which is here in the book, when I started reading it, my heart kind of leaped for joy, because I had recently published a book based on a novel based on astrophysics and quantum physics. And I find references of quantum physics and astrophysics sprinkled throughout the book of poetry. Puranjay talks about black holes. I am the event horizon. Puranjay is the event horizon. That's a fabulous concept. A black hole is something that rips time and space like a fabric, and it rips through it and creates a wormhole into another universe, into a different set of dimensions, different timelines. So Puranjay's book is a black hole. It takes us into another universe. It takes us into a different timeline. It takes us into different dimensions. It takes us back into the Neverland. And this is something that we should explore, and you'll find yourself drifting through the black hole, through a wormhole, into places which are beyond fabulous. Then he also talks about the Voyager expedition. I was very pleased to hear that somebody knows about the Voyager expedition. This was in the 1970s, that was astronomer, astrophysicist, NASA scientist called Carl Sagan. He sent out two man-made objects, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, which is now still traveling. It's been now about 50 years now, it's still traveling. It's crossed the orbit of Pluto, is beyond the solar system, is beyond the Kuiper belt, beyond the Oort cloud, and is still sending us images of that. We are trying to find that we are not alone in the universe. All our lives we try to fight loneliness. And the ultimate loneliness is to find that we are alone. There's nobody else, which is not possible. Given the millions and billions and trillions and quadrillions and septillions of stars, galaxies, etc., just by a small of averages, just by a very tiny percentage, there still will be again millions of billions of technological civilizations out there. They've not contacted us, but they're there. They're there, they're little green men. They can watch you. They're hearing you right now. So when the bar is open, when you're having a drink, lift up your glass to them and say cheers, and they will, I guarantee you, also join you in that drink, the little green man. Then the poetry which I read of Puranjay's, there's certain fundamental aspects of his poetry. One is that I can almost, it's the power of imagination. I can almost hear him beseeching everyone, begging everyone to open up your minds, open up your imagination. Because, again, in quantum physics, if you can imagine something, it exists. And let your imagination run free. And imagination is also very important for empathy, for sympathy for your neighbor, for the other community, for other people. For all moral failure, they say, is a failure of the imagination. Because if you can imagine the other person, if you can get into the other person's shoes, then there's no way, just no way you can commit violence. That will be an end to violence. All moral failure, all violence is a failure of imagination. And poetry awakes that imagination and once again makes this world, like I said, more peaceful, makes you more peaceful. Puranjay has told us to think outside the box. But he goes beyond that. He says in one of his poems that the box you want to think of in the first place does not exist. This is a very powerful line. This is a line that sets you free. It means that your mind is not shut within a box. There are no boundaries to your mind. And then you can venture forth in imagination and creativity anywhere you want. Then he also talks about mirrors. A mirror loses its purpose if it does not have any object to reflect. A mirror loses its purpose if it doesn't have any object to reflect. Now, Puranjay's book is also a mirror. You will be seeing your soul in it. You'll be seeing your mind in it. You'll be seeing your heart in it. You'll be seeing your life in it. You'll see where your life exists as part of society. You may not like it. You'll see yourself naked in it. You'll see yourself exposed. But reflect upon the reflection that this book provides you, even if you don't like it. Because if you understand yourself better, you will become a better person. There was a German philosopher called Friedrich Nietzsche. So he also used the metaphor of mirrors. He says that my books are also a mirror to society. And I'm hated because what society sees is a donkey in the mirror. And nobody wants to believe that they are less than they pretend to be. Then he also dwells on truth. He's come out with a very, very original line. See, what is truth? That is something that philosophers, poets, writers, everyone right from the beginning of time has been trying to figure out what is truth. He's come out with one line: fear is truth, and truth is fear. Now, we've been trying to figure out what truth is. The poet John Keats, in the Ode to the Grecian Urn, he said that all beauty is truth and all truth is beauty. And a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Fine, but then that raises the question, what is beauty? That's again relative. Then in the Bible, there was that famous scene where just before the crucifixion of Christ, he was brought before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. And Christ made that statement, "To this end was I born, and for this purpose came I into the world, to bear witness unto the truth." And then Pontius Pilate very reasonably asked him, "Truth? You say truth? What is truth?" And Christ could not answer. Because truth is something that's very insidious. And when Albert Einstein came along, he said everything is relative, there are no absolutes, there's no absolute truth. But this statement of yours, Puranjay, fear is truth, truth is fear, I think that is probably one of the best definitions of truth I've ever heard of. Because fear is all around us all the time. We are fearful creatures. We keep fearing for the morrow. We keep fearing for what's going to happen. We keep fearing when fear when the situation doesn't even warrant fear. We want to fear. So fear is something that is universal, and fear is truth. But if you think about it and you befriend fear, then fear will go away. So this book of 110 poems is truly remarkable. I mean, 110 poems. If you compare him with some of the other poets, like Keats, who I mentioned, he wrote only 54 poems. Then the First World War poet, who I quoted in the beginning, Wilfred Owen, he wrote just 5 poems. Well, the others, like T.S. Eliot, he wrote 277 poems, but he's written 110, so he's almost halfway there. And this is just a start, he's just beginning. It is said that all of us are poets when we are young. We have all written poetry, but then that disappears. The muses go away after your teenage years. But if the muses stick to you when you become an adult, then you are a true poet. If the genius remains with you and you can still write poetry, then you are a true poet. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that somebody is there writing poetry, somebody who still has faith in the power of words, somebody who feels that words can change lives and can change people. So I thank him once again from the bottom of my heart for coming out with this wonderful book of his. Thank you.
When Wendy asked Peter Pan, "Where is Neverland?" Peter Pan pointed to the North Star and said, "You see that star to the left, the second star to the right? Yeah, second star to the right and straight on till morning." To me, literature is wonder. It takes you to a place where you cannot describe. It's a haze. You don't understand it. You will not be able to until you're done reading and you come back to earth. To me, the stars hold all forms of wonder, and tonight has been absolutely wonderful. Beyond anything I could have ever imagined. There's a great amount of gratefulness that I have for this day. Thank you, God. Excellency, ma'am, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and without hesitation coming all the way from Delhi to support me, to to not even hesitate in terms of that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellency Shumit Uncle, as well as Tanuja Auntie. You have been a guiding force for me. It has pushed me forward to have the courage to even stand up here today. If it wasn't for you, I don't think tonight would have been quite as much as it has. Thank you to Denzel sir, as well as Captain Alwyn. What you did was enchanting and entrancing. I was lost for words. It felt like something out of time. Thank you for that. Thank you to my parents, although thank you is not something that I would normally say, because what we have here is total unconditional love. Gratefulness is not needed here, it's just pure love. And Shreya, there's a first time for everything. Well done. Well done. Thank you to the entire audience for being here, for taking the time out and spending this Sunday with us here. Thank you to everyone at home for watching, for taking the time out and of your quite frankly chilling out Sunday to watch people perform some poetry. I've been waiting for a long time for this moment, and I've been really looking forward to it. Shreya, are we ready?
Ready as ever. But before we do that, I'd like to take a moment to request you all to hold the applauses for after the performance. Manifest.
Welcome to the Festival of Dreams, a place where there is no such thing as real. Mantras and magic burst at the seams, where the universe responds to how you feel. Mankind is just a made-up term, used to try to give ourselves meaning. What is our purpose, we must confirm, and to that cause we remain scheming. Many attempt to resist the flow of what the universe for them intends. Many also do come to mental blows and continue to create and follow their own trends. But there is a secret that on the surface remains, which no one seems to be able to see. The power over reality itself is actually in the hands of you and me. The power we have is truly our own. The ability to communicate with the universe through speech, by following the situations that time has shown, and making choices through the language of mental and emotional reach. For if as a man, in that flow of time, I call out my truest desire, I create a new festival of dreams that further carries on the universe's fire.
I am.
I am the light, born of the darkness, intensely focused on a single point. I am a crack in the whole, creating the cycle of the whole. I am the altered carbon with consciousness. I am the place where insurmountable pressure creates more value than a diamond. I am the event horizon of a black hole. I am the one who creates newer versions of myself on a momentary basis. I am the intrusion, repurposing. I am the dichotomy of freedom in the rules that guide. I am the existential living in the differential. I am the limited perpetuating the infinite. I am consciousness.
Charge.
Charge. Like the unstoppable force of a natural storm, ever building, ever growing, ever persistent, ever looming. Let the lightning and thunder be your calling card in your ascent beyond heaven itself. Charge. Let doubt convert into the unshakable faith, not of control, but of the ability to withstand the harshest chaos itself. Charge. Like a source of light, infinite in abundance, with the glow emanating in a fire of progress, going on until potential is realized or the glow fades into obscurity itself. Charge. No fear, no hesitation, no hatred, no anger. Just focus unrelentingly. Charge. Charge your soul to the heights of infinity and glory, and let that inner fire rage against all sloth and anguish. Charge, charge, charge. Like the potential of the Big Bang itself, bringing forth a universe of your light itself. Charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Second Star is available.
What would you like to say about this book and about Puranjay?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great evening, a kind of example how one can make the world better by opening yourself, himself to the world. And I would like to commend this young soul by being so brave and courageous, not being afraid of eventual critics or what kind of different opinions. Just you have found your way, and like you wrote in your own book, you were afraid of dreaming. You were waking up each time you started dreaming. But I think tonight you have got the stage where you could keep dreaming and keep writing, please. This is for the benefit of all of us, for your family, for your close ones, also for all of them who don't maybe know you but open the book. Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank
also,
you very
dear
much.
Puranjay.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you. Thank you.
Please be there.
सर आप भी आइए ना सर।
सर आइए। पुरांजय, आपने लॉकडाउन के अंदर ये बुक लिखी होगी, तो इस बुक को लिखने का कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे आया?
मैं बचपन से लिख रहा हूँ, लेकिन क्या चीज़ था, अभी लॉकडाउन के वक्त पे मैं अपना टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहता. My mind was not in the right place for a lot of reasons. I was in a bad mental position. हम सब इंसान हैं, हम सब एक दूसरे के साथ मिलजुल के जीना चाहते हैं, लेकिन वो कर नहीं पाए ड्यूरिंग लॉकडाउन. तो मैं सिर्फ लिखना चालू कर दिया, कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म था. और ये मेरी ज़िंदगी की पार्शियली कहानी है. और दूसरी बात ये कि मैं थोड़ा होप इंस्पायर करना चाहता था कि सबसे गंदे वक्त पे भी होप को लूज़ नहीं करना चाहिए.
What do you want to say about this book you have written? This is your debut book,
Yes.
And the response is mind-blowing. Everybody loved the recitation and all the concept you are talking about the book and all. What do you like to say?
It's simple. Never ever stop questioning who you are as a person. You as a person have the power to achieve all of your dreams if you keep questioning yourself. You keep growing. You keep having the understanding that there will always be something better as long as I work towards it. That is what I want to say, and that is all that's there in this book. It is me taking all of my mind and just writing and writing and writing until I could not write anymore.
In your opinion, what is the meaning of Second Star?
The meaning of Second Star, well, that I would give up to everybody else to decide. It should. I'll leave that as a mystery. That's up to everybody to decide what they want about the book.
सुनील खन्ना जी, आपके बेटे की बुक आज रिलीज हुई है. What do you like to say? And आज उनका बर्थडे भी है. How we will wish him all the best on his birthday?
It's such a proud moment for me that he has achieved such so many poems in such a short period, and what he has been writing from childhood. It was like, we were just assuming that he is what comes in his mind and he's writing, but in this COVID period, he has taken out all his emotions out in the poems, and I'm very proud of him. God bless him, and this is the biggest gift which he has given us as parents to us. God bless you.
Thank you, Dad.
Ma'am, your say as a mother, how you feel about it? Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Mom.
Ma'am, what do you like to say about the book and your son, his birthday today?
So I'm so happy that I don't think I have adequate words. Having said that, I'm enjoying every moment of it. I just take the credit for teaching him how to rhyme.
Yeah.
After that, he has written, and that's where we are. Second star for everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
so
This
much.
will be emotionally as well as spiritually also. Do you feel like this would be there,
My idea was to do emotion, spirituality, science concepts, the concept of God. You can name every concept that you can think of. I've tried to incorporate that in my book.
So why you put your name second star?
Again, I've already said that when I was on the stage. So the whole idea is, I love the story of Peter Pan. And Peter Pan specifically stays in a place called Neverland, which is the second star to the right of the North Star. The idea was to invoke imagination. And that's why the name second star.
And we're the first star. Who's the first star?
Oh, the first star, that's up to the world to decide, not me. That's not for me to know.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please. Thank you.
Everybody is in COVID, living in house, but you are writing book in COVID time.
Yes.
How was your feeling and experience?
My feeling was this much, that I did not want to just sit back and do nothing. I did not want to take precious time. During the time of COVID, I was around 29 turning 30. Based on the general understanding of the world, I'm still young. I did not want to waste my young years doing nothing. I wanted to create something of myself and make something of myself. That's why I wrote.
But today is your birthday.
Keep writing now, like you will be having lots of other things also. Like
Hopefully, I'm already working on something, but until it's done, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank
Please.
you everyone for coming. Thank you. Thank you very much.